of Outlaws Dirt Racing is available now. Download your copy today.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
Welcome one, welcome all to SimSpeed TV. It's time once again, for the second last time this year, the Aussie Online Gaming Porsche Cup presented by Sam Blacklock Media, the 19th round of this championship at the Phillip Island circuit in virtual Victoria. Been looking forward to this one for quite some time, and we're sure to see a great night of racing as per usual in this series. To bring it to you all live here on SimSpeed TV, myself, Reese Gardner, with Jay Kennedy in the comms box and handling production behind the scenes. Well, Jay, Phillip Island, it was the scene of the first ever SimSpeed broadcast back when we were known as V8s Online, and Phillip Island, the oldest Australian track on the iRacing service. It has never failed to be entertaining.
Yeah, this feels like going home, doesn't it, when we come here? It's our spiritual home within iRacing, this track. It's, as you said, the first ever broadcast was here. All of our big moments before we had Bathurst were at this track. All of our big Australian events were at this track. We had Phillip Island 500s back in the day. Before there were team racing, all done at this track. It's an amazing circuit, iconic. Of course, originally designed to go in the other direction, but I think they made the right call in going in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. That first corner at Dewan is certainly a passing opportunity, though it doesn't look like one on the map. You can definitely get a great slipstream down that front straight. And of course, try and send one up the inside at the Honda hairpin. Siberia, you can handle the outside line if you have someone trying to pass you there. And of course, the run from Lukey Heights into MG, always a place to watch for passing and potential crashes as well if drivers overcook it. It's going to be a fun one here tonight in the AOG Porsche Cup. We'll check out how things stand going into this round. Last round, Bo Albert was confirmed as series champion. He is too far ahead of Matthew Bowler for that gap to be overcome, but certainly still on behind Jay, especially between Tyson Broad and Simon Mazzomo for the Pro-Am title.
Yeah, that's really tight, and tonight could help decide that. Nicholas Gariich in the AM class should wrap up the championship in AM, just needs results to go his way, and he's sealed it before the final round, which is at Sandown in 2 weeks' time. But yeah, that Pro-Am battle has been incredible to watch. It's been seesawing the whole way through the season between those two. I think 100 points has been the most it's been split by all season long. We're going to have a classic finish. Regardless of what happens tonight, it's going to come down to the wire next round.
Yeah, absolutely is. It's going to be awesome to see whether or not Tyson Broad or Simon Mazzomo will be able to get in there and nab that title. We also see some great battles all the way through the field in all of our classes. So here's the format for tonight. We have got a proper sprint round here with 3 races of 15 minutes each. Progressive grid for race 3, but of course will be defined by the reverse top 15 from race 1 setting the grid for race 2. Bit of a confusing way to talk about that. Basically, race 1 is set by qualifying. The top 15 from race 1 are inverted for race 2, and race 3 grid is decided by those race 2 results. No required pit stops. It's just going to be an out-and-out sprint, and races should be 11 laps, provided there are no safety car interventions. And of course, safety car interventions are no stranger to this series, as the drivers are now out in their qualifying session at the moment. First times have been set, of course, and no surprise to see that Nicholas Gariich is on top at the moment. It's all AM drivers in this session so far. Garriott really pushing it on the exit of the Honda hairpin and into Siberia to see if he can extend that 0.5 of a second gap over Dean Landy.
Yeah, current time of a 29.9, so he'll be looking to improve on that as well on this lap. 13 minutes for each driver in this session, so it'll be split into two groups. Garriott goes off, and it won't be the first car we see go off at Lukey Heights. Very, very easy to do. Difficult section of track where the track just falls away from you. He'll get it back out there and use the tyres. He has been one of the drivers that has gone for longer stints. We've seen all different sorts of strategies with drivers coming in and changing tyres halfway through the session, but Garriott has been one that's just gone out there and just continued to do laps. He'll come in and change tyres for one last sprint, but he also doesn't escape back to the pits. He's one that will use the fuel in the car, burn the fuel down and run it towards the end, which we've seen a lot of drivers do as well.
Yeah, indeed. That's certainly a viable option in these cars because they take a while, the tyres, to reach their operating temperature. It's a bit of a harder compound, lower grip on these Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. So good to see that Garriott is putting the car through its paces in the qualifying session. What can Dean Landy do to overcome him here? Landy's current fastest time is a 1 minute 30.19, and that looks like an outlap there for Dean. Either that or he made a mistake. So we'll see how he goes on this lap coming into first corner. Through Hayshed and Lukey Heights, meanwhile, Race on Oz's Isaac Edwards, one of the drivers that has consistently been around here in this championship and in the AusNZ sim racing community for that matter. He's certainly got his rig all set up, and it looks like there's been a few changes in that room as well. A nice backdrop there for Isaac as he rounds the final corner here. We'll see if he can improve on that 1 minute 30.5 he's currently on.
Yep, we're looking to get a little bit more time. Best lap has been a 30.0 in practice. He does improve on that lap. Not quite enough to gain a spot though, but an improvement is an improvement nonetheless.
Indeed, would have been helped a little bit by the slipstream that he would have been getting there from Patrick Harding, who's jumped in car number 93. As we check back on Dean Landy, he's about to reach the end of this lap, and coming into MG, it's a nice smooth line on the way in, barely a hint of oversteer from the car as he widens the apex of the penultimate corner. Just saw a couple of times come in there from Kyle Booth and Javin Wood. They briefly swapped spots for a second, but Kyle Booth now back into third ahead of Javin Wood. They're only separated by 0.03 of a second there. Landy comes to the end of his lap, and what's it going to be? 1 minute 30.3. That is a little bit off what he set, to the tune of about 1/10 of a second, just over. So we'll see what Dean can do here in the last couple of minutes of the session. Looks like, Patrick Harding's just gone off there at Lukey Heights behind Isaac Edwards. You see him there in the background. He's escaped back to the pits, which you are allowed to do in this series in qualifying, but there is a no escape rule in effect for the race. If you suffer a crash, Jake, in any of these race sessions and you can't get back going, then you're going to have to get on the blower to race control, and they might have to bring out the safety car.
Yep, we've seen that plenty of times throughout the season so far. Saw from that incident we saw with Patrick Harding, Isaac Edwards was right up behind him, and he looked visibly shaken on the Zoom feed, so may have been contact or may have been balked a little, but nonetheless, he's going to continue on. Keep going. There's only a couple of minutes left in this session for these drivers, 3 minutes left. So they haven't got much time left to get a lap in as Booth finds the track limits plus some out of the exit of turn 11. He'll have to start another lap. And Javin Wood is, I think, just come out of the pits and starting another lap now.
Very close battle between Booth and Wood. Javin is still technically in contention for the AM title, but oh dear, that is way off there at the Honda hairpin, straight into the tyre barriers. He's going to have to start that again. Wood is 332 points behind Nicholas Garriott, and for a clean sweep tonight, there's a maximum of 330 points. So the fact is, if Wood wants to stay in contention at the final round, he's going to have to outscore Garriott tonight. But if Nick manages to get it done tonight and outscore Javin Wood, then he will have secured the AM class title. So we'll keep an eye on those two as the night goes on. Let's see what Isaac Edwards can do meanwhile to improve once again. 1 minute 30.4. Yep, that is a nice lap there. Again, though, it doesn't quite gain him a position. He's only 100th of a second behind Javin Wood now, though. So steady improvement from Isaac.
And 5 of the 6 in AM only separated by 0.6 of a second. So pretty competitive looking field at the moment. You take away Nicholas Garriich at the front. You got 2nd through 5th there. What's that? 0.5 of a second between those 4 cars. That's incredibly tight.
Yeah, that's amazing, and you always see those kinds of gaps at Phillip Island. It's such a difficult circuit to really pull out a big gap on with these long straights and making sure that you nail all these corners. It's a pretty wide entry there into Siberia for Isaac Edwards, but it looks like he's hooked up the late apex and he's getting a great run on the way into Hayshed. See if he can work that out towards the end here. We've already gotten the 2-minute warning for this first qualifying session, so the checkered flag will be flying any minute now. Isaac Edwards into MG corner and widening the entry very nicely, and once again a late apex, try and get as much speed as possible through the penultimate corner. Can he keep it on the track?
Just
a bit of a whisper of oversteer there on the exit. Yeah, indeed. Only just. Well, what's it going to be this time, Jay? Will it be another improvement?
pretty good. He looks rather content, and that's his best lap of the night. Puts him into 2nd for now. That's a very, very good job from Isaac Edwards.
Yeah, that's excellent stuff there from Isaac. He now is the closest man to this guy here, or this guy's teammate, rather, Nicholas Garriich. We look at Kyle Booth, Garriich's teammate over at Garriich Booth Motorsports, who certainly class of the field in the AM class. As the checkered flag flies for the session, any driver who's currently on a lap, this is going to be their last chance. So let's see what Kyle Booth can do. Can he get further towards his teammate? Can he put a bit more distance between himself and Javin Wood? They're only separated by 0.03 of a second, or near enough to that. He's going to have to go faster than a 1 minute 30.2, and he does not do it. 1 minute 30.85 for Mr. Booth. No improvement there, and looks to me like Javin Wood is still out on track, as is Isaac Edwards, but Edwards, I think his run is done for now. Wood, though, for Pulse Racing Team, out of the final corner. What's it going to be, Javin? It's going to be a 1 minute 30.2, and that's a 100th of a second off what he's currently set. So maybe not the greatest session out there for Javin Wood at the moment, but he's still got 3 races to try and make up positions and challenge Nicholas Garriich for that AM title tonight. Reminder of the format here, as there's a brief break in between sessions. Checkered flag for Group 1, and grand total of 6 drivers setting times in that first half. All AM guys: Garriich, Edwards, Landy, Booth, Wood, and Harding. That will be it. Isaac was last across the line just in time, says series admin Dan Yeaman, so there's still a chance that Edwards will improve, but no, he's gone into the pits. He has indeed. So
he was too busy fist pumping. I can confirm he was pretty happy with his lap, and deserved as well. So. Yeah, because I mean, he hasn't had the best lap throughout the season, but to find himself in such a good position, he should be very proud of that.
Absolutely, he should. Well, the revs rise in the pits, and there is an absolute crush to get out of pit lane for all the rest of our guys in this field. The Pro-Am and Pro class out on circuit at the moment, and there is Bo Albert. Whoa, hello. Oi, oi, oi. That was a little bit of avoiding action. Reminds me of some drivers on the freeway here in Perth. I think that might have been Tyson
Broad. Which 9.5 car was the other one? Aiden Zell, potentially.
Yeah, potentially indeed. And he has to make some room around the outside for Cameron Dance and the number 6 as they make their way around. Wow, okay. That's pretty much everyone remaining in the field out on track at the moment. and the only cars still in the pits are the drivers that were just out there in Group 1 and our 2 race control guys, Dan Yeaman and Tom Wilkinson over at AOG, who will be driving the McLaren 570S safety car tonight if needed. There's Bo Albert, and he can afford to take it easy now. He secured the championship last time out at Winton, and I remember him saying to us in his interview afterwards, he's going to be focusing on having fun. So we'll see what it's like when Bo Albert isn't 100% taking it seriously. We have gotten a taste of that in the past, but we'll see tonight. And there's Sebastian Flock for Evolution Racing Team. Flock, definitely a quick driver, but he hasn't had the best luck in recent rounds.
He's had a lot of bad luck, hasn't he? If it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all over the last few weeks. But fingers crossed for him, he can work his way forward and maybe get a good result tonight. He has had very, very good pace in a lot of races, but just the bad luck seems to fall his way. So fingers crossed for his sake, he can have a good one tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. Could be picking up a bit of a slipstream from Robert Gibbs there, just up ahead of him, and very close up behind him. Robbie Gibbs, of course, recent addition to Evolution Racing Team after driving for Drop Bear Motorsport for the majority of the season. And this guy here, Matt Bowler, second in the championship. He's changed teams a couple of times this year. Started out the season for Pursuit Sim Racing and then drove for a bit for Visceral Esports and then picked up by ERT in recent weeks. So Evolution Racing Team with a proper squad of cars out there. We'll see how they go, as that was an overtake made there for Matthew Bowler on Aidan Coote, who's one of the drivers remaining with Drop Bear and not quite remaining on the track. Coming into the pits and absolutely bottling the pit entry going into the grass was Aidan Coote, as Bowler comes across the line here to set our first couple times of the session. 1 minute 28.1 there for Matthew Bowler, and Sebastian Flock not that far behind, 128.8. What can Bo Albert do? Confirmed champion as Hayden Veld and Ryan Jones go into 4th and 5th, Broad to 3rd, Corey McFarlane to 2nd, and Bo Albert across the line, 128.3. That is going to be P2 for the champion-elect. Simon Mazzomo gets himself into 9th place, but Tyson Broad up into 6th overall. Dylan Shepherd as well in 3rd place in Pro-Am goes to 8th overall. And
Pretty
3rd in Pro-Am.
Yeah, pretty good first run of times, and everyone is almost in order except for Coote, Gibbs, Dance, and Matterford. Everyone else is in their right class order. Those guys obviously didn't get an official lap time in. Actually, just take that back. Grant Matterford's got a lap in, but he slotted in between Garriott and Edwards, and yeah, it's a bit hectic down at Honda Hairpin there.
Yeah, it was. That looked like a huge lockup for Cameron Dance in the Orbit Motorsports entry, the number 6, and oh dear, looping it around at MG is the number 12 of Matthew Bowler. Well, he'd already set the fastest time so far, so he can afford to go back into the pits and try again. We'll see then what the drivers can do in the remaining 10 minutes of this session. They will get the checkered flag at about 2 minutes remaining, because we are running in a heat session tonight. And if you're unfamiliar with how it works on the iRacing service, if you're running 2 or more races in the same server, you do use the heat format, and that means there's a hard cutoff at the end of qualifying. If you are still out on track on a lap when the timer hits 0, you won't get to complete the lap. You'll just be sent straight back to the garage when the session ticks over. So the drivers will have to be wary of that. 129.29 for Ben Johnson.
How's that for consistency?
Yep, wow, absolutely. Only 0.02 off his fastest.
Incredibly consistent. Couple of times there. Hayden Coote is now on his flying lap. And Robbie Gibbs also on his. So we'll get a bit of a gauge on time as Grant Matterford also improved. So everyone except for Dance has slotted into class order. Gibbs and Coote yet to put in a proper lap time, so we won't include them. But we don't often see the classes not a little bit jumbled in some situations, but to see only one car out of position at the moment, a little bit abnormal for this series.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. You know, we've usually seen a few pro-ams splitting up the pro field, but yeah, as you mentioned,
And AMs
aside from
splitting up the pro-ams as well.
yeah, absolutely. It's usually been quite a jumbled up field, but as things stand, this is a bit of a rarity in the AOG Porsche Cup. Well, Aiden Coote coming out of the final corner on his first proper attempt at a hot lap, and that's going to be a 1 minute 28.7. Not bad there. Goes into 4th place.
He's ruined
and
it.
That's, oh, man. Yep, that's going to be the Pro-Am pole ahead of 2 Pro Class cars.
Robbie Gibbs just went to flick to him, but just beat me because he slotted up into P2 with a 28.3. So very nice lap from Gibbs. ERT P1, P2 at the moment.
Yeah, they're absolutely coming out in force, aren't they, the Evolution Racing team with these new signings. As we check out Ryan Jones, who's come back once again to this series. His attendance has been a little bit patchy this season, but he's certainly shown some great talent. 129.2 for him, and that's going to gain him 1 spot up into 14th overall versus Benjamin Johnson. And they're not separated by much at all. Ryan suffered a bit of bad luck. He's ended up involved in quite a few incidents this season through no fault of his own, so hopefully he can escape that tonight. Hayden Veld just went to P4 and pole position. Matt Bowler, 128.4, and not going to be an improvement for him that time around, but we'll see if he can go one better on his current pole position time as we check out Tyson Broad.
Yep, Broad has just started his flying lap, so he'll be looking to get a bit of time here. He needs to get, 3.5 tenths to get pole off Hayden Veld. So he'll be hoping to get a bit of time, but I suppose the one thing that he really wants is just to make sure he finishes ahead of Mazomo, both in qualifying and in the race. If he does that, it gives him a better chance of winning the championship. As it stands right now, he's only got one car separating him from Mez, that being Cameron Dance. So he'll be hoping to gain a bit more time, as will Mazomo.
Indeed. We'll see what these two can do. They have been locking horns every single race so far this season, and both of them have had variances of luck and fortune along the way. There's an improvement from Dance, meanwhile, going to P7 overall, and into, that's 5th place in Pro. Nice improvement there from the number 6. We'll see if he can get a bit further up. Bo Albert just going into 2nd overall now, running a time just 4 hundredths faster than Robert Gibbs there. So that's broken the Evolution Racing Team 1-2 at the front there. 29.3 from Tyson Broad, a little bit off what he set. Mazomo getting a slipstream off his 9.5 SimSport teammate, and is that
helped.
going to... Yeah, it has indeed. Mazomo improving to a 28.81. So it's a little bit more of a gap that he has over Tyson Broad, but it's still not much. There's only 600 separating them.
Not much time left on the clock, though, to get a lap in, which is probably the issue Tyson Broad now faces. Not a huge gap, but no real time to punch in a couple of laps, and he's got to come into the pits and start again because he's ruined his lap. So not much time left for Broad to gain spots. Game time. Dylan Shepherd will be looking to gain time. He's got exactly 1/10 of a second between he and Tyson Broad. See if he can do it on this lap. It doesn't look too bad looking at the sector times.
Yep, Shep has certainly got a lot of experience in sim racing, a lot of experience as a mechanic as well in the real world. He's worked for real race teams in the past. Cameron Dance improves to 4th overall. Shepherd sets 128.8. That gains him 3 spots there. Goes into 9th overall, and that's going to be 3rd in Pro-Am as things stand. So Dylan should be quite happy with that one. He'll have time to get one more lap in before the session ends, I believe. Ben Johnson for Drop Bear and Kosi there in the 727, just coming out of the Southern Loop, turn 2. He is dragging along Aiden Coote. We'll see if Aiden can improve once again after setting some great times early on in the session. And what can Ben Johnson do to improve himself? Bit of a lock up there, and it looks like Coote's gone straight on behind him at the Honda hairpin. So unfortunately, that run has gone awry for the Drop Bear duo.
Yep, they'll both be dropping a bit of time and probably have one more run at it. Sebastian Flock jumps up into position number 4. Nice lap from him at 28.3, but it is incredibly close. We've got top 13, top 14 cars pretty much a second, top 15 cars a second. It's incredibly close for this style of car at this track. We normally see a little bit more of a spread, but tonight everyone just seems to be on it. The lap times are very, very good, and the pace is very, very close between everyone.
Yeah, evidently these cool track temps in the late afternoon, early evening conditions are working out pretty well for these guys as Johnson comes across the line. What can he set? 129.6, and that's unfortunately 4/10 off what he set. He'll probably continue on this lap. We'll see what he can do. Oh no, he has gone wide on the exit of turn 1, and that's going to be some pretty heavy contact with the tyre barrier for Ben Johnson. But he'll escape back to the pits, and I think that'll be his session over. The checkered flag for Group 2 will be at 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining, and that should give drivers plenty of time to get their final lap times in. So what can Tyson Broad do here to try and get one up on Simon Mazzomo? All he needs is half a tenth, or thereabouts.
Sounds a lot easier than it really is, though, doesn't it? Needing just half a tenth sounds so simple. And then you get out on track and the execution is a lot more difficult than it sounds. So we'll see if he can do it. But at the moment, actually, that 5th in class, which is unheard of for Broad. Broad and Mazzomo have both been top 3 in qualifying and races pretty much the entirety of the seasons that they've all been here. But tonight, things not looking as easy. And I tell you what, Broad is pushing the limit, trying to find that extra half a tenth.
That he is, going off track a little bit there at the second last corner. What can he do here? Will this lap even count? Going to be a 29.0. Well, Broad has one more opportunity here to get a lap in, and he'll be hoping to high heaven that he gets it right. Mazzomo, meanwhile, has been dragged along by Hayden Sell to the start-finish line, and I don't know if this is going to be an improvement for him. It's not. 1 minute 30.17. And I did notice that you flicked to Bo Albert briefly there, Jay. We go back to him now to see if he can grab pole position here at Phillip Island. He has got that car right on the ragged edge, and it's all gone wrong for him at MG.
Yep.
Checkered flag flies.
Too much at MG, and that is session done because he won't be able to get another lap in. Matthew Bowler about to finish his final flying lap. Like he is done as well. He's just helping Aiden Coote around there by the looks of it. See what Coote can do. Currently P8. Got to find 2 tenths to pip Hayden Veld at the top of Pro-Am. I don't know if he's got enough in the tank. We'll see if he can, though.
Indeed, Dylan Shepherd was last across the line before the checkered flag flew, so he'll potentially be the last driver to set a hot lap here. Coote
nice
goes
lap
to the start-finish line. Yes, indeed. That is brilliant. Gains 4 positions there and back up into 4th overall. That is the Pro-Am pole position for the time being. What can Dylan Shepherd do? He's still out on track at the moment, as is Hayden Veld. Simon Mazzomo still being dragged along there by Hayden Sell, but that's a big oversteer moment out of the penultimate corner. That might have ruined his run. Coming on to the start finish straight. The final corner is just about flat out in these cars. You do have to lift a little, but we'll see what Mazzomo can do here. 129.1. Oh, he's just off once again by a few tenths. Grant Matterford, meanwhile, he's been down in 16th place the majority of this session. He is ahead of all the AM drivers. 129.2 is going to be that for him. He pips Benjamin Johnson to P15. Dylan Shepherd has gone into the pits, and so that is qualifying over. The session will tick over now, and we can go through our 22-car grid for this first race. Matthew Bowler and Bo Albert will share the front row with Robbie Gibbs in 3rd and Aiden Coote getting Pro-Am pole position in 4th overall. Sebastian Flock and Cameron Dance will share the 3rd row in 5th and 6th. In 7th spot, it's going to be Hayden Veld, who's had a really good qualifying session there. Second in Pro-Am, he's going to start alongside Corey McFarlane, with Hayden Sell sharing the 5th row with Dylan Shepherd, Simon Mazzomo and Tyson Broad. What else would you expect? They are sharing a row of the grid together.
Yep. No surprise to see them together side by side as they have been entire season. We've got Kyle Zink and Ryan Jones on row 7, with Grant Matterford and Ben Johnson rounding out the Pro-Am field in row 8. Row 9, the start of our AM drivers, Nicholas Garriott and Isaac Edwards. And from there we've got Dean Landy, Kyle Booth, Davin Wood and Patrick Harding rounding out our field. Dan Yeaman and Tom Wilkinson on hand in the McLarens if we need the safety car. Fingers crossed we don't. This is going to be exciting. 3 races, 11 laps, all 15 minutes, whichever comes first. I don't know what to expect here. It's going to be an absolute fun night of racing.
Indeed. What else would you expect in the AOG Porsche Cup? It's all going to be about the run off the line. It's a reasonably long run to turn 1, and when you're coming off a standing start, turn 1 is at the front of the field at least. In the midfield, though, things should be much tighter. It's going to be between Matthew Bowler and Bo Albert, and Bo will certainly be looking to get the best start he can to try and lead into the first or second corner. 15 seconds remaining on the clock, and all the drivers have entered the grid now. They just wait for the timer to hit 0, and then they'll be able to get going. A full field, almost a full field, a pretty good field, I should have to say, of Porsche 911 GT3s here. Good to see that numbers have stayed around the 22 plus car mark. Revs rise and we'll get going for round 19 of the AOG Porsche Cup. I think he might have had a technical issue as soon as things got going. That is a big shame there for Bowler. Albert is going to lead into turn 1. No, it looks like that might have been a problem on my end. My apologies. It's going to be Matthew Bowler who leads into turn 1, but Bo Albert was really harassing him there. And it's side by side between Aidan Coote and Robert Gibbs, and Gibbs goes off. Gibbs goes off at the exit of turn 2, and that's going to be dropping down the order for him down into 6th place, getting harassed by Hayden Veld as Coote, Dance and Flock are 3rd, 4th and 5th. Into the turn they go, and Gibbs has cleaned up Cameron Dance coming into the Honda hairpin. They're both off the circuit. They have to wait for the field to go by, and that should be a potential slam dunk penalty there for Robert Gibbs.
Kyle Booth has just had a massive moment as well, so huge incident there. He's made contact with Patrick Harding and I think Javin Wood as well, so a few issues at the start of this race. Definitely not as clean as we've seen in other races in this series, but we're staying green for now. Everyone has continued on. But messy start as Dylan Shepherd looks to make a move. Makes contact with Hayden Veld.
I don't think that move was on, personally. Looks like, though, Shepherd is immediately redressing the position, and Hayden Veld, of course, he's not too bothered by it, is he? I've got some news that my internet was struggling there at the start. Hopefully it's fine now, Jay, as we end lap 1.
It was fine until you said hopefully it's fine now, but we'll get through it. We'll pick up a replay of what happened, though, at Honda.
Gibbs.
Slippery the track is when you are looking to make moves there.
Yeah, indeed we do. That's a real shame to see. But as we go now to this hard battle between Sebastian Flock and Aidan Coote for 4th, they'll continue fighting, and it is all on here in the midfield. 6th to 16th altogether, Jay. Yep.
Very, very tight between Ryan Jones. He's made heaps of places up in this race. Where did he start? 14th? 13th? He's up into 6th. He's second, third in class. That's great to see from Ryan Jones. Tyson Broad behind Mazomo as well will potentially change how the championship is going to look after this race as well.
Yeah, indeed it will. Well, Ryan Jones will continue holding off Tyson
look at
Broad.
that.
Sebastian Flock with a massive slipstream goes past Aidan Coote. Benjamin
Look
Johnson.
at the championship standings right now.
Yeah, that is pretty insane there. At the moment, it seems that Broad is just ahead, but have a look at this. They are fighting hard. Corey McFarlane now in the number 94 is harassing Tyson Broad for 6th place. And Ryan Jones falling back to 8th. Kyle Zink up in the 9th spot. Benjamin Johnson is the one who rounds out the top 10. It's going to be quite interesting here between Broad and Mazomo. They are barely separated by anything here, as that is Tyson Broad getting passed by Corey McFarlane. A few more points potentially lost to Mazomo there.
Tied. They are tied for points right now. If this race stays as it is right now, and then the next 2 races, they invert positions. So if one finishes 5th and one finishes 6th, and then the next race they invert those, they'll be tied going into the last round of the championship. How good is this battle that we've seen between these two all season long?
Absolutely magnificent stuff. As that's a potential pass there. Nicholas Garriott were getting almost passed by Hayden Veld there. Garriott still holding on to the AM Championship lead, but Hayden Veld trying to gain positions back after that crash with Dylan Shepherd at MG a little bit ago. Garriott not getting the best exit onto the start-finish stretch. Veld absolutely nailing the run out of the second last and final corners, and he's going to get past on the inside into turn 1 potentially, and Shepherd's going to try and follow him through there. Gap opens on the inside. Garriott fortunately saw him coming.
I don't think he saw him until the last second, though, did he? He was unsure of what was going on, and then all of a sudden he's let Veld through, and Shepherd's gone, well, if you're letting him through, I'm going too.
Yes,
how's
indeed.
This battle back in the field still going on between Cameron Dance and Robbie Gibbs? Remember, these two come together lap 1.
They did indeed, and they're approaching the scene of that accident now. Gibbs getting a good run out of turn 2. Dance on the inside. No, he's going to yield there on the way into the braking zone. I think Dance is trying to give Robbie Gibbs as wide a berth as possible here, but they will continue to try and fight their way back up after losing out massively on lap 1. They're down in 18th and 19th now, as there is the battle for the lead. Matthew Bowler getting a fantastic exit and really putting on a good show here. He holds the fastest lap overall so far, and he was the fastest car on track last time around. Bo Albert doesn't have much of an answer for him at the moment.
No, not at the moment. He doesn't know. He's definitely been a little bit quicker each and every lap. I know that Bo hasn't done a huge amount of practice, but I'm not sure how much Bowler's done either. So both guys are at PAX over the weekend as well. So if you're at PAX, you may have bumped into those boys. But, yeah, Bowler has been very, very impressive tonight, as that's Hayden Veld through on Hayden's cell. Yeah, the Haydens fighting amongst each other, and now here comes Dylan Shepherd up the inside again. He's making moves at turn 1 like they are absolutely simple.
Oh, no!
Maybe not.
Yeah, well, Hayden's cell gets sent around there on the exit. He'd already gone very wide to let Shepherd through, but I think Dylan overcooked the exit of the corner a little bit. Maybe thought that Cell would yield a bit earlier. We'll go to our next virtual racing school replay of the race, and it was a similar situation to Garriott, wasn't it?
Oh, he hit that curb.
Yeah. Well, Shepherd hit the curb, but also it seemed that Cell was trying to go for the inside line there. Probably thought that Shepherd would be further ahead than he was. Yep. So not much damage to Hayden's Cell, but definitely some damage to his positions. He's back in 19th as we check the battle for third once more. Aiden Coote holding on to the Pro-Am class lead here, and by some margin, but he's harassing Sebastian Flock here for an overall podium.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's doing a great job. And Mazomo's sticking with him too. Last lap by Mazomo was, 3.5 tenths faster than Aiden Coote. So Mazomo's catching these guys as well. We've also got some news in from Race Control. Lap 1 incident between Robbie Gibbs and Cameron Dance will be a post-race 10-second time penalty for contact. The incident between Isaac Edwards, Kyle Booth, and Javin Wood, no further action, which I think is fair as well. And there was also contact between Dylan Shepherd and someone that we did miss on lap 1. That's a 10-second time penalty as well for Dylan Shepherd.
Indeed. Well, there could be further penalties coming for Shepherd for that contact with Hayden Cell. We'll have to keep an eye on the Race Control channel for that one. Well, the racing action continues. And Tyson Broad has not allowed Corey McFarlane to get away, and McFarlane's still holding on to 6th overall here and 4th in Pro, but he's gone straight on at the Honda hairpin, and that allows Broad back through into 6th spot. Can McFarlane get back by him at Siberia? He's going to go for the inside, and Broad sees him coming, gives him room, and it looks like McFarlane has pulled it up just in time there. But as you can see, the outside line coming out of Siberia is not the worst place to be. Broad's going to hold on to that spot. Here we go then. Will McFarlane be able to get around the outside of Lukey Heights and get the inside for MG? Looks like he's going to have a red-hot go at it. That was a brilliant move around the outside by McFarlane, but Broad's going to try and hold on to it. No, has to yield, only just. And we'll just clarify that 10-second penalty for Shepherd was for the contact on Hayden Veld at MG on lap 1. So
which we did see.
Yeah, yes indeed. Position was redressed, but race control evidently deciding that a further penalty was in order. So, nice bit of racing for the last position in the top 6.
Yeah, I'm guessing if the redress didn't occur, there may have been a drive-through penalty, a bigger penalty for Dylan Shepherd. And Shep now tackles back with Hayden Veld. They're still going at it. Nicholas Garriich is there too. He decides to go exit stage left. And is he going to lose positions to Wood? Yes, he does. So Javin Wood now ahead, but Garriich has also just given up the reverse grid, the reverse top 15 pole position for the next race, and now that's gone to Robbie Gibbs. So Garriich not only has just thrown away points to Javin Wood, he's now outside of the magic top 15.
He is indeed, and that could be a massive boon there for Javin Wood to try and keep his AM title hopes alive.
Cameron Dance is having a shocking run at the moment. I'm guessing he's got a bit of damage. He's just not coping well at all tonight, is he? He's just, ever since that incident earlier on, he just has not looked comfortable, has not had any pace. He's still having a laugh, but he doesn't look happy in the car.
No, doesn't seem that way. The car was just wobbling on him through the Honda hairpin, and he ended up having to go off at the exit. He is carrying some hefty damage to the front right, which might be messing with aero balance and suspension as well, potentially. We'll see what he can do, though, to try and fight his way forward in that orbit number 6. He's still down in 18th, and it looks like Hayden Sell has come into the pits. No?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah,
I think so, has he? Maybe not.
No. I haven't seen him come into the pits. He was up in 9th spot, but
I wonder if he had a slowdown, maybe.
No, he had a massive off at the final corner. Went off at the penultimate turn. So he's trying his best now to keep it on track. A trip into the gravel trap at Phillip Island costs you a lot because this track has a very high average speed. And if you go off out of the penultimate corner, you lose bulk time. We'll see what happened to Hayden Sell here.
So, exploring the limits and just goes to turn it in, and he's just gone just over that curb on the edge. As you say, it doesn't take too much to go exit stage left. Exit stage right, I should say. He's well and truly out of it, as there's been an issue out on track for Sebastian Flock.
There has, and that has promoted Aidan Coote into the podium places. Looks like there's been further issues for Sebastian Flock. He's just fallen behind Dylan Shepherd and is back into 12th place, and now is facing off against Javin Wood there, who's in 13th. There's some problems for Grant Matterford as well. My goodness. Oh, okay. That's what happened there to Flock. Some side-by-side contact, it seems, with the...
That's with Gibbs.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, Matterford and Gibbs, yeah.
Staying on the replay again, Reese, because now something's happened to Dylan Shepherd.
Oh, God. It's all going off here with only 3 laps to go here in race 1, and it looks like Ryan Jones has had some problems as well. Shepherd through turn 1. Does he mess up the entry into Southern Loop? Has he gone a bit too deep? No, he managed to line it up very nicely.
There's on the exit
battle ahead of him.
Oh, look, everyone's just losing the rear at the moment, aren't they?
Whoa, all right.
That's 3 drivers in a row that have lost the rear of the car.
Yeah. Indeed. Looks like as the race goes on, the rear end decides, no thank you, I'm not going to do it. That's Tyson Broad. Tyson Broad goes off massively at Lukey Heights. And the same thing happened, I think, to Kyle Zink as well, or it could have been a separate incident. Either way, Tyson Broad losing out massively there. Heavy contact with the tyre barrier. What went on here? Was it contact with McFarlane? We'll have to see. Coming into Lukey Heights, no, there was no contact there. It just looks like Broad went too deep. Oh, it was avoiding action. Avoiding action. The number 94 going for a spin.
That was actually that. There was Kyle Zink just ahead of him.
Yeah, okay, so that was Zink. Okay, so Zink loses it into Lukey Heights, and Broad thinks, okay, I'm going to go here. No, unfortunately, spun right into Broad, didn't he? Goodness, the championship drama here in this Pro-Am field is nothing short of spectacular. Very, very dramatic race here at Phillip Island, but we've only got 2 laps to go. And we see this fight here for 6th overall between Johnson, Veld and Jones. This is for the Pro-Am class podium, I should highlight. And Veld, great recovery from him, gets back up the inside there of Ben Johnson. And Ryan Jones will try and follow him through there. And looks like Johnson's not quite done with it. He's going to try and shadow Veld here through Hayshed. Will he be able to get back up the inside at MG is the big question. Regardless, I've got to say, with how lap 1 went for Hayden Veld, to see him now up into 6th overall and 3rd in Pro-Am, that's a great recovery in just a very short race.
100%. That's a brilliant recovery. He should be well and truly out of it and probably fighting over the the pole for this second race, but he's now fighting for a podium in his class. And if things go as they're going right now, that may be settled for him. So Hayden Sell here and Grant Matterford, these guys are fighting for the most important position in this race. Whoever finishes ahead out of these two gets pole position for the next one. Whoever doesn't, they'll start 16th.
That they will, and they're going to be side by side down the start-finish straight. Who is going to come out of turn 1 in the lead? Sell on the inside, gets it done on Matterford. But Grant knows that he could be looking at pole position for race 2. He's going to fight this as hard as he possibly can as we've entered the final lap now. And Hayden Veld still holding off Benjamin Johnson there for 6th overall. And it looks like he'll hold on to that unless he makes a mistake in the final part of the lap. Number 12, Matthew Bowler, though, coming through the final couple of corners now. This has been an absolutely class performance from Matthew Bowler, and he might have lost the championship at the last round, but he's certainly going to get race wins wherever he can, and it's going to work out magnificently for him here at Phillip Island. And he's going to cross the line in first place. Bo Albert coming home just 2 seconds behind him. Aidan Coote, though, what a magnificent drive from him. He has come home in 3rd overall and takes the Pro-Am class victory. We'll see how that pole position will go for Hayden Sell. Looks like he's managed to get ahead of Grant Matterford with just enough room to spare, and he will streak home to take pole for race 2, finishing in 15th. Got to give a big shout out to Simon Mazzomo as well. He came home in 2nd. Nicholas Garriich, meanwhile, taking the AM class win there, I believe.
No, that'll be Javin Wood that took the win.
My apologies. Yes, Javin Wood. Oh no. Oh yes, my apologies. Was looking at the wrong results screen there. Well, either way, these will be the results. Matt Bowler and Bo Albert, top 2. Aidan Coote, Pro-Am wins. Simon Mazzomo in 2nd in Pro-Am. Those are some valuable championship points for him in his fight with Tyson Broad. McFarlane comes home in 5th overall. Then it's Veld, Johnson and Jones, 3rd, 4th and 5th in Pro-Am. Sebastian Flock comes back to finish 9th. Shame for him. Could have been a potential top 3. As for Robbie Gibbs, with an unfortunate incident on lap 1, putting him into 10th.
Yeah, Kyle Zink in 11th, and Javin Wood, who, as we just said, won the AM class. Dylan Shepherd, Cameron Dance and Hayden Sell. That 15 that we've just talked about there, flip them around. Sell will start on pole, and Bowler will start from 15th. The rest will start as they finish, though. Matterford, Landy, Garriich, Edwards, Tyson Broad in position number 20. Then Kyle Booth and Patrick Harding rounding out the field. Positive. Everyone finished on the lead lap.
Indeed they did, and I'm sorry for my erroneous call there regarding Nicholas Gariich. It seems that he had just lost the second place in AM there to Dean Landy, which I think is a fantastic drive there from Dean. Yeah, especially considering he started a little bit further down in the AM class. So we'll see what Landy can do here in this final run there for race 2. My apologies. It's been a pretty hectic day, so my brain is running about 5 seconds behind my mouth right now.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Well, either way, we're going to reset here and go for the start of race 2 very shortly. Once again, it's going to be Hayden Sell starting on pole with Cameron Dance sharing the front row with him. Dance will be hoping for a much better run this time, as will Shepherd. Shepherd had to deal with a 10-second post-race time penalty for that contact with Hayden Veld lap 1 last race. So starting in third, he is going to get this off to a good start if he can keep it together. Just 10 seconds remaining then as we make our way through to the start once again. It's going to be all 22 cars taking to the grid here, but we're still waiting on Javin Wood to enter the track, and it looks like he will there. So now we'll get things going. Timer hits 0. The revs will rise. It's Sell versus Dance on the front row, but oh, Sell, he's gotten into gear a bit too early there. That might be a jump start penalty for him. Revs rise. And away we go. That's a fantastic start from Dylan Shepherd, as it is from the drop bear car there. The ERT car of Robert Gibbs. So Shepherd is going to lead into turn 1. Sell and Gibbs, your top 3. Woods still in 4th. And oh goodness, that is huge there for Kyle Zink. He's gone off there at the first corner. And big dramas as well for Hayden Veld and Bo Albert, who are trying to fight their way through here in the midfield. There is Ryan Jones, who holds on to 6th place. He's got McFarlane and Flock behind him. And trying to line up a move there is, Aiden Coote. Can he get up the inside there without triggering an incident? 3 wide. We've got a car spinning off. That's Hayden Veld. Hayden Veld has gone off in a big way at the Honda hairpin.
And can confirm as well, Hayden Sell, as you said, jump start, will have to serve a drive-through penalty. So Hayden Sell, gone from amazing starting on pole to absolutely horrible without the green lights even coming up on the screen.
Yeah, that's huge there for Hayden Sell. He'll have to come into the pits in the next couple of laps and serve that penalty as Dance tries to round him up for position here outside of MG, becomes the inside for the penultimate corner, and Dance is through into 3rd. Javin Wood also losing a spot to Corey McFarlane as Sell goes for the pits to serve his drive through. And now we'll see him run down the order, as that is your running order at the end of the first lap. Shepherd, Gibbs, Dance, McFarlane and Wood, your top 5. And we have a Pro-Am class car leading overall.
Yep. How long will that last? We don't know. Mazomo back in the field. He's back to 16th position. He's lost a few spots from where he started. He's dropped back behind a few AM class drivers. So while Tyson Broad had a shocking first race, this has brought it back to him as it is right now. So we saw just after that race finish, we had a quick little look at the points, and it was around about 48 points from memory. It's now back to 39. So it's changing quite a lot. Remember, at the start of the night, it was 20 points in the favour of Tyson Broad.
Yeah, that it was. Well, Mazomo getting a great advantage here, it seems, as Bo Albert makes up a place on Ryan Jones, gets back into 8th. Albert's had a pretty good first lap there, as it's on for the lead up the inside, potentially. No, Mookie Heights not smiling on Robbie Gibbs this time around. Shepherd staying middle of the road on the way into MG, does not want to give up this overall lead. What is going to happen here between the 43 and the 888 as the door opens on the inside at the penultimate corner? Can Robbie Gibbs get through in the final turn to take the race lead. They're going to compromise their exit onto the start-finish straight, and it's going to give a big advantage to Corey McFarlane. They just avoid coming together on the exit. Robbie Gibbs leads here at Phillip Island in race 2. Shepherd, though, with a great exit, he's going to try and draw alongside on the way into turn 1, but I think he's going to have to yield. There we go. Well, now that that's calmed down just a little bit, Albert's still trying to line up positions here on Flock and Wood. I reckon we should go to a replay, Jay, for Nicholas Garriich. Remember, AM Championship leader coming into this round. Lap 1 at the Honda hairpin. He was involved in that big crush that took out Hayden Veld, and he has lost quite a few places out of that. Still gradually working his way back up, but dramas for Nicholas Garriich early on. He ricocheted off a couple of cars in this very corner. We're going to take a look at it now. And yeah, there's Garriich very slow on the exit. We'll see what happened to him here. He had Albert up ahead of him, and then coming into the corner, Garriich trying to go middle of the road, but then a drop bear car on the inside. I think that might have been Broad. That yeah, ricocheted him into the number 12 of Matthew Bowler, who also went off. Bowler, our race 1 winner, is down in 10th. Actually make that 9th. He's just passed Ryan Jones out on track. Here's the view from Kyle Booth of that incident. You see Garriich just up ahead of him, and flick, bam. Round goes Garriich, and the teammates make contact.
Fairly heavy contact between the teammates there too, so hopefully for their sake they're okay, as Ben Johnson decides to have a little bit of a lawn mowing experience off at the inside of the final corner. Bowler's lost a spot. Is that Garriich getting involved again there?
Oh, almost. Looks like he just escaped. A bit of avoiding action had to be taken there. Very good job from Bo Albert to make up those positions. He's obviously one of the class drivers of this field. He's champion for a reason, but he's had to work for it here tonight, as we see Bowler trying to make his way past Ryan Jones for ninth spotter. Oh, yeah, that's a big lock up there, and I think it was Cameron Dance. Yeah. Oh,
I think the evidence is obvious with him off the track there.
Yeah, the Honda hairpin has been a bit of a bogey corner for Cameron Dance tonight, hasn't it?
Well, I think the whole track's been a bit of a bogey corner for him. He hasn't had a great night. He's just seems to find himself, and I can see I've got him over on my screen to the side, and I can see him shaking his head in disappointment. So he's not happy. Of course, he's fighting with Sebastian Flock for 3rd in the championship as well. So they're in a little bit of a fight and in a bit of a battle, as Broad finds himself in a battle here with Jones and Bowler. So this fight is ongoing. It's Tyson Broad trying to make up as many spots as he can. How clean can he do it? Got through. Fast.
Yeah, only just. Ryan Jones will continue there. Back into 10th place there. See if he can hold on with Cameron Dance now lining him up. Dance and Jones certainly familiar with each other. They're friendly with each other as well outside of the cockpit, and both of them have done commentary for us here at SimSpeed TV in the past. So we'll see what happens here as Jones goes off and manages to gather it up on the way into turn 2. Well done, well held from the driver of the number 11 car. All right.
Ironic you talk about them doing commentary for us. Both participated in the bragging rights challenge, which we did win. Ryan actually said that was the last time he'd done a road race on iRacing, which was 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. So he has been busy with real world stuff, but a long time to be out of the seat and lose your mojo.
Yeah, indeed. And Ryan, of course, is active on the oval side of things as well. And, that's some good side-by-side there, isn't it? That's Sebastian Flock still trying to work his way past Javin Wood. Almost had a go at him up the inside into Lukey Heights here on lap 5. And Wood is going to go defensive into MG. Can Flock round him up? No, didn't quite get it done. And Wood's gone a little bit wide into the penultimate corner, and that's contact, I think, and that's sent Javin Wood around. That is big there, and don't forget, Wood is trying to keep his title hopes alive in the AM class, and he's not that far from Nicholas Garriich now. Still a few cars in between them, but that'll certainly set Javin Wood off the rhythm a little bit. There was no contact.
Oh, and have a look at the slide from Flock at the same time. He slammed on the brakes to make sure he didn't hit him. and only just avoided him. So good job from Flock to make sure there was no contact. But yeah, I thought there was contact as well at the start, but glad we took that other angle because that definitely showed no contact. And I was also about to say that how good a job was Javin Wood doing to try and get as many points as possible to keep the championship hopes alive. I'm glad I didn't say it because then it's not a commentator's curse.
Indeed, you have escaped the wrath this time, Jay.
Does it count if we think it? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. It has to come through the vocal cords and through the machinations of the human mouth for that to happen. Cameron Dance gets past Sebastian Flock then for 7th, and Flock, of course, off rhythm a little bit after having to take avoiding action for Javin Wood's incident there. But still keeping himself on track and trying his best to get a good run here, but Lukey Heights doesn't seem to have worked out too well for him. Middle of the road, defensive to try and keep Tyson Broad behind, who has got just Ryan Jones separating himself from Simon Mazomo, his championship rival. And Broad is going to hope that race 1 was just a little bit of an issue for him, because it seems there's been a problem for Grant Matterford. He's dropping down the order into 19th, and looks like that happened out of Lukey Heights into MG potentially. See what he does here. Tried to put a move there on the 110 of Kyle Booth, but okay. Booth trying to go for the late apex and widen out the penultimate corner. Getting into Matterford there and spinning him around. That could be an issue there, as that's a big issue for Cameron Dance. And where is that? Is that the exit of turn
Southern Loop.
1? Yep, the exit of turn 2. My apologies.
Oh.
It looks like he's... That's Ryan Jones.
Ryan Jones, I think he's beached. We could see a safety car here.
We could indeed. Jones spinning the wheels, but it is all for naught. We'll see what happened to him. We got some big news as well from Race Control that we'll talk about shortly after this. Jones on his own here coming through turn 1. Dance has his incident ahead and spins off. Jones had nothing to do with that. See what happened to him on the exit though. He loses the rear just at the dip and then up onto the berm. No.
Needed to go backwards.
Yep, Ryan should have put it in reverse, mate. Oh, that's a big shame there for Ryan. And that is going to be... looks like permission was gained for him to go back to the pits, so we stay green. But big news for Bo Albert. 15-second time penalty for contact on lap 1. I think he was involved in the crush at the Honda hairpin. So Race Control obviously not smiling upon that. And Albert will have 15 seconds added to his time when we reach the end. Albert is currently in 5th spot right now. So if we add 15 seconds to that, as it stands right now, that'll put him behind Javin Wood in 12th place at the end.
The gap, there we go. Gap between Javin Wood and Nicholas Garriott at the moment is 296 points. Had to be less than 330 from memory, so as long as it's less than 330, there is a mathematical chance. Very, very small chance, but a mathematical chance. He needs to get a few more spots, does Javin Wood.
Indeed he does. Well, it looks like it might not be the tight championship fight that we would hope for, but the AM title at this stage will go to the final round. Remember though, we still have one race to go here at Phillip Island, so things could definitely change there. Here's the battle for 6th place meanwhile. Actually no, it's the battle for 7th as Flock leads Broad there. Mazomo, another 2.4 seconds behind this fight right now. And Broad will be hoping to keep things clean here versus Flock. If they come together, then that's going to be the gap narrowed once again for the lead in Pro-Am Championship as Kyle Zink goes off at the final corner and back down into 17th spot. It's been a popular place to go off, hasn't it? The final corner is... take it easy, guys. Kyle Booth versus Dean Landy for 13th overall, and Booth is going to try and go around the outside of Southern Loop. Can he get it done? Landy has to back out of it, gets a little bit of a tap in the front right for his troubles, but They got through cleanly. That is
I don't know how.
fantastic racing. Yeah, I don't know how either. That's brilliant.
That was incredible. Well done to those guys for actually getting it done. It should not have worked as well as they did. Benjamin Johnson's going to get 2 spots here because Booth has run very wide. No, he gets 1 from Landy. And Nicholas Garriott is starting to close back in. So Garriott could find himself up a couple of spots here because he has got good pace despite the damage to that car. Going to be an interesting battle.
That it is. Well, can Kyle Booth get it done here? Can Nicholas Garriott get it done on Dean Landy? My apologies for mislabeling drivers once again. Usually happens.
They're in the
once
same
broadcast.
car.
Yeah,
they're in the
they
same
are.
car. So, I mean, that's an easy one to do. Garriott's through. I actually thought Benjamin Johnson was going to make a big send there, but no dice. What about it? 2 laps to go. Not much racing left. I'll tell you what, the battle for third is getting quite heated. So Coot and Bo Albert have changed positions, but McFarlane is now feeling a bit of pressure from behind, and they're also catching up to Dylan Shepherd. So 2 laps to go. This battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth is well and truly on. Bowler's not that far away to take advantage of an error as well.
Yeah, and don't forget, Bo Albert will not get the points for third if he finishes there. He's still got that 15-second time penalty hanging over his head. So he's racing a bit out of position for the time being, as that's a spin there for Aidan Coote. And he's going to go off the circuit there. It's a big shame. Coote had been performing so well tonight, but it's all gone wrong from here in race 2. Back in 8th place, Let's Flock and Broad by. The lights are on, meanwhile, on the cars. The sun has set here at Phillip Island, so we're going to be potentially racing into the night here in race 3. Yep, so there's still plenty of light out there on the racetrack. We'll see how it goes. As
we're going time certain, by the way.
But we're going time certain. We are indeed. The checkered flag has flown, and Robert Gibbs is going to come home with victory here. Shepherd is going to finish second overall and win Pro-Am. McFarlane third, Albert fourth on track, but looks like Albert's going to be demoted to 10th place as things stand. Cameron Dance is 15.4 seconds off Bo Albert right now, and it looks like that is going to be how it finishes there, as the AM class win will once again go to Javin Wood. Nicholas Garriott coming home in 14th overall and second in AM. And, well, the AM title fight at this stage will go to the final round. And Cameron Dance certainly not happy, I think, with how things have gone for him there. 11th place at the very end. So we'll go through our results here. Robbie Gibbs, 4.1 seconds ahead of Dylan Shepherd. Corey McFarlane in third. Albert, Bowler, and Flock, your top 6. But remember, Albert will go back to 10th as Broad, Coote, Mazomo, and Veld round out the top 10 on track.
From there, we go back to, as you said, Cameron Dance in 11th. Javin Wood, though, winning in the AM class again. 12th position again as well. Ben Johnson in 13th. Good result for him. Garriott in 14th, ahead of Booth and Landy in the end. So that closes that championship battle down again. Zink, Harding, Edwards, and Matterford rounding out the top 20. Hayden Sell finishing 1 lap down after the jump start. And Ryan Jones did not finish, 4 laps down. So that's 2 of our 3 races done. Drivers get a chance to take a little breath, go at it again, because we're coming up for the final race of the night in just a couple of minutes' time.
Indeed we are. We're going to step aside briefly here on SimSpeed TV as well and get a bit of a breather. Very exciting night of racing in the AOG Porsche Cup. We'll be back with race 3 in just a few moments.
because dirt racing is available now. Download your copy today.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in indoor series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Oh, big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, here we go! Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
You're watching the Aussie Online Gaming Porsche Cup presented by Sam Blacklock Media. Wow, round 19 at Phillip Island has certainly been dramatic, and we're still waiting with bated breath to see how these championships will turn out in our Pro-Am and Am classes. Simon Mazzarmo and Tyson Broad, the gap has widened between them thanks to Tyson not having the best race won, but there's still plenty of chances for him to take Simon Mazzarmo back here in race 3 and to the final round at Sandown. So we'll see how that goes between them. Currently, Nicholas Garriich is 311 points ahead of Javin Woods. So as things stand, the Pro-Am title will still go to the final round. But have a look at that gap there between Sebastian Flock and Robbie Gibbs. It's only down to 100 points. So if Gibbs has another good race here after taking the win in race 2, Sebastian Flock doesn't have a good race in race 3. That could potentially swap with Jay Kennedy, who joins myself, Reese Gardner, in the comms box.
Yeah, it's amazing how tight that sort of happened. I mean, Flock's had a couple of absolutely horrible rounds, and we know that. We've seen it. He just hasn't had any luck. Cameron Dance looks like he might be okay to hold on to that third spot at the moment. But yeah, Flock and Gibbs, that has got very, very tight. And Mazzarmo, Broad, and even Dylan Shepherd is mathematically still in with a chance for that Pro-Am Championship. It's incredibly close, and it's going to be an incredibly fun end of the season.
Indeed it is. So much to work through here in the last couple of rounds, as this is a starting grid for the third race tonight. Robbie Gibbs and Dylan Shepherd will start on the front row after finishing that way in race 2. McFarlane and Albert on row 2, with Bowler and Flock rounding out the top 6 here. And coming into 7th spot, Tyson Broad alongside Aidan Coote, with Mazzarmo and Veld rounding out the top 10. Cameron Dance will start 11th alongside Am-Class winner from the last race, Javin Wood. Here we go then, the revs rise. Won't have time to go through the full grid. We will have time to see the start of race 1. This is a great start for Robbie Gibbs and a really terrible start for Corey McFarlane. Falling down the order, down to 11th spot after starting in 3rd, and down to 12th now as they enter turn 1. Oh my goodness, the drama just doesn't stop here as the track is getting darker and darker. Going off the circuit potentially there was McFarlane, but he manages to hold on to it, and we'll see what happens here in the back half of the field.
Gibbs, though, great launch from him. He's holding on to that spot quite nicely. Bowler having a look on his teammate in Flock. And Tyson Broad in amongst that too as Javin Wood runs off the circuit. Was there a little bit of helping hand there from Mazomo, who was beside him? I'm not sure. We'll have a look in a little bit. But Dance is also coming through as well. He's, I'm pretty sure he's made some adjustments to the car because he was not happy. He came and told us he was not happy after that last race.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't having a lot of problems in the car as Cameron Dance, but gaining 2 spots so far into 9th spot. And a little bit wide there for the 110 of Kyle Booth, who goes off at Lukey Heights and into the tyre barrier. That's the car doesn't look too damaged, but he'll probably be at least very shaken and will still be carrying some physical damage from that. Here's Matthew Bowler in 4th place. Winner of the first race here tonight as Albert goes off the track. Champion-elect, and will stand a chance at losing 3rd here. See what he can do to hold off. Bowler coming into turn 1 has the inside line and will keep it as Tyson Broad keeps Sebastian Flock behind him, or does he? Flock going round the outside there into Southern Loop. Is that going to become off the track? No, it's not. Just dips back into the inside line and keeps it going. But it's going to be difficult to hold off Tyson Broad and Aidan Coote. The drop bear duo as Ryan Jones, who had an ignominious end to race 2, is unfortunately suffering further issues here, just going off the track briefly there. Okay, that's a bit of a bump there for Simon Mazomo. Has to give up a position there to Corey McFarlane, and Hayden Veld is trying to gain on him here. Take it easy, guys. Mazomo fighting with Veld here for 4th place in Pro-Am. He's got Tyson Broad up ahead of him. Mazomo, of course, was leading the championship versus Tyson Broad coming into race 3. Broad was leading coming into this round, so things could flip again between them as we get another look at what happened to Javin Wood. Looks like he just went straight on at Honda Hairpin, having to try and make way for other cars around him. He was side by side with Veld coming into the braking zone. Now, is there more to this incident? Doesn't seem like it. He just went way too deep into the corner.
The race control will be happy to see that they won't have to look at anything further for that incident. There was a fair bit going on there, so you could quite understand that we weren't too sure and thought there potentially was contact, because they were nearly 4 wide at one point there, but great to see no contact. Almost contact there between Dylan Shepherd and Bo Albert, but they get through. Mazomo, though, has had an issue, and he is facing the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, that's big there. Simon Mazomo gets back on track without involving anyone else, and looks like he did that all on his own. He was being harassed by Cameron Dance coming into turn 2, but just got on the brakes a little too late, and yeah, front's locked.
I've done that,
and off he goes. Yep, I think everyone's done that at some point here at Phillip Island. Usually it's best to have it happen in a practice session and not the race. Side by side for second. Dylan Shepherd might give it up to Bo Albert. Has to lift off there, coming through Hayshed, and Matthew Bowler says, "Thank you very much, sir. I will move up into 3rd overall."
Nice move. Job done. And Shepherd back to 4th position. And, Sebastian Flock, Corey McFarlane, Tyson Broad, that battle's getting quite heated as well. So before we saw that incident from Mazomo, I was going to say the points between the 888 of Gibbs and the 84 of Flock was exactly 100. It is now 72. Is that right? 72?
I think so.
78. My maths doesn't work. It's closed. It's closer than it was before.
It is indeed. Hayden Veld getting by Aidan Coote there and getting himself up into 8th spot. That's 2 places gained. Most positions gained in the field, though. Isaac Edwards down in 14th. He is up 5 places at the moment and has really taken advantage of the issues that others have suffered in these first few laps. And we already saw that Edwards was very happy with his qualifying performance here. Bowler, meanwhile, fighting with Albert for second. Albert having to go defensive there versus Bowler into the Honda hairpin, but keeps P2 for the time being. And speaking of Isaac Edwards, looks like he's just had to give up a position there to Jabin Wood, but no matter, he's had a very consistent night so far. And Mazomo making up places versus Dean Landy there in the AM class. Mazomo, of course, in Pro-Am, and we see there the fight for the Pro-Am top 3 on the right side of your screen. Now it is... once again, just a 20-point gap or thereabouts. 18, I believe. 27.
17.
Yeah. 17. Okay, yeah. Maths, no good. So, still close.
It's late at night. I mean, we don't use calculators, so forgive us when brain no working. Bowler getting aggressive here. It's great to see the aggression level from Matt Bowler, the confidence level as well. Has definitely picked up in the latter half of this season.
It has indeed. He wasn't quite there in the middle phase, but certainly fantastic runs here as Albert spins it on his own out of Southern Loop. That's something we've seen a few times tonight, and of all people, it's happened to the champion-elect as, oh goodness, it looks like Flock's gone off as well on the exit of turn 2 as well. All right, well, we've got a bit to pick apart here on this virtual racing school replay. Here's what happened to Flock, and oh yeah, just a little wobble.
I think he was reacting.
Yeah, reacting to Bo Albert going for a spin ahead. Albert was still on track, and Edwards going into the tyre bundle as well. Oh man, it looks like he might have just gone straight on at turn 2. He was all on his own when it happened, and oh well, he went off the track at turn 1 and couldn't quite gather it up in time. So, slippery glass, slippery grass, slippery gravel, and very grippy tyre bundle, it seems. Well, with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go on the timer, we're on lap 5, and Robert Gibbs leads by about 3 seconds over Matthew Bowler, with Bo Albert suffering massively out of that. Albert back to 15th place now, as the lap is completed there for Gibbs. He has the fastest lap overall, but looks like Matthew Bowler was the fastest car on track in the top 10 that time around. 129.2 versus a 129.4 for Gibbs. Look at this fight though for third overall. McFarlane trying to recover, trying to get back into third after bottling the standing start.
Yeah, remember he dropped back to 12th or 13th position. He's got back to 4th. That's a good job from him. Definitely not going to plan though for he or a few others. I've actually seen Ryan Jones into the pit lane, so I'm not sure what's going on there for him, but we'll try and find out post-race what's happened there. But Broadveld and Coote battling behind McFarlane and Shepherd is just as intense battle. Actually, Cameron Dance is in there now too.
Yeah, he is. Really well done there. And Dance too here. Try and get past Beld. Oh, sorry, to keep Coote behind him into Lukey Heights. That's what he'll do. He'll take the inside, and Coote, with no grip on the outside, will fall behind. And now Dance will try and line up Hayden Veld here. He's got Tyson Broad, Corey McFarlane, and Dylan Shepherd up ahead of him. And that is the battle for the top 3.
Watch how much wheel work is going on for Cameron Dance. He is in absolute struggle street. He has got no control over this car at all. The car is driving him. He is not driving the car in this race. You watch the wheel work throughout every corner. Ultra mega corrections and making the wheel do all sorts of things you don't want to do. If you're doing this with your wheel, having multiple attempts at getting the car to turn, that's when your car setup is not right.
Yeah, not fixed setup in this series. Every driver will run their own setup. Of course, there is also a baseline setup provided by the guys at AOG for people to work from and run in the race if they want. Let's see what Dance can do here. Gap has not opened on the inside for Honda Hairpin. We'll see what he does here on the exit here. Had to have a couple of stabs at the steering on the way through. Of course, the smile's still on. Yeah, very wide from Broad. Still a smile on Cam Dance's face though, which is good to see. Bit of an up and down mood for the Kiwi tonight.
Yep, hasn't gone to plan 100%, but this has been his best showing so far. Interesting too, just seeing that Broad has moved up a couple of spots That gap is now closed to 9 points. Watch it change here, though. Change of position to 16 points. Now back to 18 points.
Yeah, there we go. A couple of points lost there for
Mazomo gained a
Tyson
spot at the
Broad.
same time.
Oh, yeah, he did too. Yeah, Mazomo is now up into 15th, and he's looks like he might actually potentially lose a spot to Bo Albert. No, sorry, my apologies. I was looking at the
That's
complete
Carl's
wrong
Inc.
thing.
Same
That's
car
Carl's
again.
Inc.
You're allowed to get
Yep.
team cars mixed up. I'm one that's very bad at that, so I think it's okay.
All right then. Well, either way,
We
Carl's
could have a
Inc.
free pass on that one.
Yeah, we certainly can. Zinc in the midst of this battle between Sebastian Flock and Bo Albert, and those guys are fighting for 11th now after Albert having his off at the exit of this corner here, and Sebastian Flock having to take avoiding action himself as a result of that. And the sky is getting more and more orange as the sun dips further and further below the horizon. What can Kyle Zink do here to maintain what has been a really good drive for him, up 5 places? Shepherd still holds on to 3rd, McFarlane 4th, Veld and Dance round out the top 6, both up 5 places each. It's another 5 positions gained for Nicholas Garriott, meanwhile, who's made his way into the top 10. He's currently in 9th.
Yep, and that'll swing those points back ahead of Javin Wood, so we may have that championship in AM settled by the end of the night. We're not sure. We'll get confirmation post-race, but we definitely know 100%, regardless of what happens, the Pro-Am fight is going all the way to the final race of the season as Aiden Coote decides to go cross-country. It's not faster out there.
Definitely not. Reduced rate of speed, car sliding through the gravel. Coote's going to go back onto the track. Bo Albert, meanwhile, has come into the pit lane. Not too sure why, but that is going to be McFarlane getting back into 3rd overall, passing Dylan Shepherd into the first couple of turns there. And McFarlane, whenever he's appeared in this series, he's always been a factor in those podium fights. Luck and driving hasn't quite gone his way all the time, but it seems that race 3 here at Phillip Island is going his way for the time being, despite that start and a little bit of bump and barge there through the Honda hairpin between these competitors. Veld and Dance now right on the back of Shepherd and looking to gain.
I have a feeling that Bo Albert has come in to change tyres to steal the fastest lap bonus point away from anyone else. That's my thinking on what he's done. He's got nothing to lose. He might as well come out there and do one flying lap at the end of the race. He's not fighting for the championship. He's fighting for glory, and that's about it. Might as well go out there in a clean track and see if he can punch out the fastest lap at the end. And Rob, who was going to get it, was Robbie Gibbs. So that would be my thinking on what he's doing there.
All right. Well, with a minute 35 to go on the clock, and Robert Gibbs crossing the line right now. It's
white flag.
borderline.
Yeah, I can see Barney waving the white flag in the background. This is the
Okay,
last
well,
lap. We're going to be 1 lap short again.
We are indeed only going to be 10 laps completed in this race. It's still on for 3rd overall as McFarlane and Shepherd go side by side into turn 1. McFarlane will defend that one from Shepherd very nicely.
Look at how much they're closing up together.
Yeah, wow. Hayden Veld and Cameron Dance very deep on the brakes, and Veld getting a big lunge in the middle of the corner at Southern Loop. Will he be able to get up the inside of Shepherd at the Honda hairpin? He'll have to think about defending from Dance here. This 4-way fight for 3rd overall to the inside is going to attempt Hayden Veld, and Dance says, okay, gap open around the outside. I'll take this, thank you. But doesn't work out for him. Veld is going to stay ahead for the time being. Dance tries to sneak up the inside at Siberia though. Veld, middle of the track. That works really well through Siberia. He is going to keep that place for the time being. So only a few more corners to go up the front for Robert Gibbs as now Dance tries again here at Lukey Heights. I don't think he's going to vault up the inside at MG. It'd be suicide from that far back. Robbie Gibbs though. That's going to be 2 wins on the board here for the 888 at Phillip Island. Gibbs, new entrant to Evolution Racing Team, and greeting his new team in style, leading home a 1-2 with Matthew Bowler in 2nd place.
Oh, this is messy.
Stuff. Oh yeah, this is looking interesting here. Can Shepherd keep Vel behind?
Just.
Only just. Yep, Shepherd finishes 4th. McFarlane working his way back into 3rd. Big props to him for that.
Zomo's going to cross in 12th position in the end too. He's gained a spot from Kyle Zink, who had a moment at MG. So on the last lap, there has been a change of position there. Patrick Harding's had a moment on this last lap too. Now, the big challenge, will Bo Albert get that fastest lap bonus point on the last lap?
Will he indeed? We'll keep our eyes open here as Albert goes through Pace Shed and into Lukey Heights in these very cold nighttime conditions. 17 degrees Celsius air temperature, 19 degree track temperature. It was only 20 when we started racing tonight. So we'll see if the low temperatures will give Bo Albert the pace he needs to steal that fastest lap point. And through the final corner he will come. He will be ultimately the driver to finish last on the track. And, well, that's not going to happen. He's gone off at the final corner. And there we go. Across the line, Albert will come and do a little bit of rally cross, which he's very familiar with.
Missed the wall. Launch it over the tyre bundle.
Hey!
Good barrel roll. Well done.
On his roof too, for maybe some bonus points. Probably would definitely be bonus points if he landed on all 4 of his tyres. There are the results then. Robbie Gibbs, 1.7 seconds ahead of Matthew Bowler. That 1-2 for Evolution Racing Team. They'll be happy with that. Corey McFarlane in 3rd. Dylan Shepherd wins Pro-Am with Hayden Veld in 5th. Cameron Dance, 6th overall. Broad finishes in 7th overall, 3rd in Pro-Am. Some more valuable points to keep that fight alive between he and Mazomo coming into the final round. Garriott comes home in 8th overall. Am win there. And that will certainly be beneficial for him. Johnson and Flock round out the top 10.
Yeah, from there we've got Aidan Coote and Simon Mazomo with Kyle Zink in P13. That helps Mazomo out, not losing as many points as he was looking at earlier on. Then Landy, Grant Matterford, Kyle Booth, Patrick Harding, and then Bo Albert, Javin Wood, DNFing in the end, which looks like it may have ended the AM Championship. Isaac Edwards in 20th, also DNFing Ryan Jones and Hayden Sell finishing at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, that's a real shame there for Hayden Sell after a very unfortunate race too. Either way, the celebrations are over there for Robbie Gibbs, and he will come home with the round victory, I believe, with a 3rd, a 1st, and a 1st in our 3 races tonight. Fantastic performance there, and he's going to join us in the commentary box for the first of our driver interviews. Well, congratulations, Robbie. New team for you once again, and coming home with it in style. 2 wins tonight. You must feel good about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with the result, to be honest, especially since joining the new team. It's good to get a good result early.
What kind of preparations were you putting into this round? Because a lot of drivers had issues with the rear end going on them. It's very difficult to wheel a car like this around Phillip Island.
Yeah, it certainly is. To be honest, didn't do much prep, 30 laps or so last night. Found out before the race that I have a completely different setup to everyone else, which is always a boost in confidence before the race. But now I was struggling big time towards the end of that one with losing the rear.
Well, coming home with that round win here tonight, we head to Sandown for the final round. It's certainly been a big season of the AOG Porsche Cup, and it's been a very hard slog from a lot of the drivers. Will you be happy to see this championship out?
Yeah, mixed feelings. I've been enjoying it as of late, but I think it probably is time for the season to wrap up and give everyone a refresh for next season.
Well, Robbie, congratulations once again. Who do you have to thank for your victories tonight?
I just want to thank the ERT teammates for the prep work we did last night, and Logitech for their ongoing support.
Well, there we go. Robbie Gibbs, new to Evolution Racing Team, and of course, coming home in style with victory. Second place on the road in race 2 and taking the win in race 1 was Matthew Bowler. Well, Matthew, I'd be presuming that the pressure is off a little bit in terms of the championship with Bo already confirmed series champion, but you're out there and you're still taking it seriously and trying to get those race wins.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bo's obviously wrapped up the championship, and huge congrats to him. So he's just having a bit of fun for the last few rounds. It's obviously eased the pressure off me and a few of the guys that were in contention for that small bit at the start of the season. Didn't do as much practice as I normally would when the championship was still going. So probably did about 30 laps last night and then went for it tonight. But yeah, the base was pretty good, and we were able to put it on pole, which I was surprised by, and win race 1. But yeah, Robbie was too quick in the last race, and we gave it everything.
How was it trying to work your way through the field in race 2? Because, you started 15th because of the invert, and it was a bit of a chaotic start for many drivers in the midfield there.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I was going down to the hairpin, and cars speed off everywhere. I think Bo hit the back of someone, and Mez came flying across the front of my car and almost got me. But yeah, that obviously lost me a few spots while gaining me a few spots, unsettled the car massively. But we were able to get up to 5th, which set us up pretty well for the last race. But got in an awesome battle with Bo in that last race, and a lot of sportsmanship there. We go a fair way back, and always have good battles when I can keep up with him. But yeah, by the time I got past him and he had his little moment, Robbie was a bit too far ahead.
Well, it seems that Evolution Racing Team has really come to the fore here with you coming on recently and Robbie Gibbs joining the team for this round as well. So I suppose you guys will be putting all of your effort into Sandown in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, we'll have a bit of a crack, have some fun. Hopefully, I've wrapped up P2 for the championship. I'm not too sure if I have, but I'm pretty sure we'll all just go out there and have a bit of fun for the last race of the season. But yeah, having Robbie and myself going to ART, it's been great so far. We went to PAX on the weekend to represent Logitech. So massive thank you for the invite from Logitech to do that. But yeah, the reception from the team's been great already. So super glad to have joined such a great organisation. Well, who do you have to thank from that organisation for you getting it done tonight? I'll just give a massive shout out to Robbie and Seb and all the ART guys for the work behind the scenes, and yeah, massive thanks to you guys, AOG, Dan, Tom. They all put a massive effort in, and obviously our main sponsor Logitech. Brilliant stuff there from Matthew Bowler once again here tonight. Pro-Am victory is going to go to Dylan Shepherd here. A really good second and third race there from you, Shep. Race 1 didn't quite go your way with a penalty over your head for that lap 1 incident, but I think you certainly made up for it for the rest of the night.
Yeah, hey boys. Yeah, it was an interesting night. I thought I was going to end up in disaster after race 1. Yeah, I mean, I deserved the penalty. If race control, definitely would have seen it as a dive bomb. I was just defending from the car behind and caused myself to lock up and run into Hayden. So, yeah, well, I've deserved the penalty just from my mistake. But, yeah, the reverse grid worked out for me. So, yeah, just race 2 and 3, just put my head down, try and keep my nose clean and not stir up the pro boys too much and cause an incident. So just try to stay ahead and have a clean race.
How was it fighting with Corey McFarlane towards the end of race 3? A track like Phillip Island, it's always you're always going to see battles like that. But how was it from inside the cockpit? Because these high speeds certainly change the way you approach a battle.
Yeah, no, it was actually really fun racing Corey. After race 1, it was actually him that I was defending from when I made my mistake. So. Yeah, it was. I knew he was a bit more of an aggressive side of driving, but I mean he's aggressive, but he does it well. So I tried to hold it around the inside of him into turn 1, and he just swooped around the outside. It was actually a really cool move. So I tried to fight back with him, but just couldn't do it in the end. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it, and he's a good, clean racer.
Well, we'll hopefully get another chance to talk to you at Sandown. You're currently 3rd in the championship in Pro-Am and could still gain a few points by the end of the season. Who do you have to thank for tonight, Shep?
Yeah, still running privateer, doing my own thing, but just a big shout out to the boys at AOG for running a fantastic series. I'm a bit sad that we're wrapping it up. Looking forward to the next season, and yeah, just a big shout out to you guys as well, always putting on an awesome show.
Brilliant stuff once again from Dylan Shepherd. And finally, we're going to have a talk to AM class Nicholas Garriott. Well, you're still quite a ways ahead of Javin Wood, Nick, but the pressure might still be on at Sandown. Bit of a patchy night for you. A couple of incidents putting you a bit far back, but still, you came home with a finish in all 3 races and valuable points still on the board.
Yeah, for sure. First 2 races didn't go exactly to plan. The first race, I was having had a good start, had a good race, and then just made a tiny error going into the turn 2 and just went off the road, which really didn't help. And then second race, the reverse grid, I didn't go up or anything, but just was in the drama, but just brought home some solid points. And then that third race, just really put my head down and tried to stick with the faster guys in front, and so it really helped. So I had a good result.
Well, there's still a big gap between you and Javin Wood for the AM Class Championship, but that's obviously not going to be playing on your mind too much at Sandown. I suppose you're just going to be continuing to try and go as fast as possible there to end the season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd be rude not to. I love Sandown. Looking forward to the solo enduro. It should be a really good race.
Should be indeed. Who do you have to thank for your results tonight, Nick?
I just want to thank the team, sponsors, Zedic Engineering, Marley Constructions, all the support. They do an awesome job for us. Thanks to them.
Well, good thing that we got you to thank the sponsors then, because we've just gotten confirmation from Dan Yeaman that you are the AM champion. You're 3 points clear going into the final round. So big congratulations, Nicholas Garriott.
Awesome. That sounds good. Thanks for that. Yeah, that's unreal.
All right. Well, pressure will be off a little bit at Sandown. We'll leave you to celebrate tonight's results and that confirmation, Nick. We'll see you at Sandown, hopefully.
Awesome. Sounds good. See you then, boys.
All right. Well, big congratulations again to Nicholas there for taking that title. And, I suppose, Jay, that's going to just about bring to an end proceedings for tonight. Of course, we look forward to round 20, final round of the season at Sandown. Been looking forward to this for a really long time.
Yep, Sandown to wrap off the season is going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. A big couple of weeks coming up on SimSpeed as well. Of course, we've got the Ozpass season kicked off last week. They've round 2 on Thursday night, Friday night, and Sunday night. V8 Scops supports. Next week, dirt racing back on Wednesday. Major series coming up. Of course, the AOG GT Open Australia also round 2. Fuji, Aussie Car, and also AOG Porsche Cup. Final round coming up 2 weeks' time from tonight.
Indeed. Well, take a screenshot of that if you like, and mark all of those dates down on your calendar, because that's what we're going to be doing here on SimSpeed TV. Well, we want to say thank you to everyone across Australia and across the world on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch as well, for tuning in to the penultimate round of the Aussie Online Gaming Porsche Cup presented by Sam Blacklock Media. Big thanks to the crew at AOG for putting this series on. I'm Reese Gardner, Jay Kennedy with me in the commentary box and handling production behind the scenes. From all of us here at SimSpeed TV, bye for now, but not forever. We'll see you next time.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's going with the outside of both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up to him.
Oh, my God. Big crash. Oh, my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh, my God.
God, what?